More at Redback. I saw him at the beach on Monday.
Who?
You.
Mate, listen.
Listen.
Tanzania, son. Tops off, I speak, game over.
Yeah. You've only put makeup on one eye though, which is odd. You should tell that story. How you got clawed by a raptor.
Well, that'll come out today.
Yeah. Well, I'll let you intro Bob. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Listen. Well, this is a special edition of this is Listen Here, Son, because we've got Bob involved as well.
We officially started.
Listen here, son.
Listen here.
So,
what do you do?
Nothing.
Oh, is it like a precursor?
Yeah.
Okay.
all good. Is this boom standing all right?
Yeah.
Trap the boom under the bed. This is not Bob's murking. Don't be concerned.
Yeah.
How you doing, Bob?
I'll get crawling along the floor soon.
Go on, Marc. I'll let you intro Bob because you know him far better than everybody else in the world.
Well, obviously the people in MMA, you take one look at him, you're going to know exactly who he is. And Bob's one of my best friends in the game and out the game. But I'm going to have to start a movement. Might not be a popular movement because everybody loves Bob except for me. Because, you know, you don't see the real Bob. Bob the cat that turns up at my door. He has my missus making cakes for him. He's in my face. When I wake up after a 16-hour flight from Dubai to Auckland, New Zealand, Bob's in my face. He's too... But anyway, Bob's a legend and we've been trying to get this for ages.
We've been trying for a while.
Everybody...
Yeah, I've caved in, eh?
Huh?
Yeah.
Caved in today.
We're giving eventually. We got you eventually. So you're a cut man. You wrap hands for the UFC.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's your part-time job. You do all the stuff
That's
as well,
it, yeah.
don't you?
Yeah.
You're a carpenter.
Yeah, that's it, done, yeah.
Former fireman, which is why your fight nickname is Inferno, as we just
Is it?
we just decided. Yeah.
Inferno.
Suits you.
Oh, it ain't like Chopper then.
No, Chopper would suit you. I think it's already Inferno suits you better though, I reckon. So you're a cut man and you wrap hands for fighters. Just talk me through how you got into that then to start with.
Well, my background was boxing, Dan. So, really went through the amateurs, all the way through our amateurs. We had a decent amateur gym, went pro, decent pro gym. We just kind of took care of our own, really. So it was just a progression from there, really. And then 2007, I had the call, and that's the rest history.
So did you start working with the UFC? Did you start under the promotions like Cage Warriors and stuff?
No, it was 2007 was my start.
Really?
I don't even know what MMA was done.
So
That's true.
What did you change about the wraps then? Because the boxing wraps and MMA wraps are different, right?
Yeah, it's because you got 8 and 10 ounce gloves in boxing.
Yeah.
So MMA is just a small, and so it's just to reduce wrist, smaller, tighter.
And what about cuts and stuff in MMA? You see more because
Loads more.
Yeah.
Yeah, really. Yeah, loads. Way busier.
Yeah.
Way busy.
So you're on the road with Goddard all the time then, are you? That's got to be hard work. I knew it.
Now you know why I call him Muttley. It's on. Listen,
races.
Where's skin ribs? I was here.
obviously, do his laugh, Bob.
I'll have to build up for that one, son. You got to build me. You got to build me up for the ribs.
Oh God. So obviously, when Bob, and you can tell, like we from the accent, but we don't live far apart. But he's like, I'm Birmingham, Bob's Black Country.
Yeah.
And obviously, what the Black Country means where I'm from, there's 3-4 areas: Dudley, Wolverhampton, Walsall, and they've got the nickname the Black Country from back in the day. It was heavily industrialised, steel and coal, and it was just constant black soot clouds. So it was like it's famous for being called the Black Country. That's where he lives, and obviously, even though we're 30 minutes apart, it's like a distinctly different accent.
Yeah, but we're only 45 minutes apart.
And that's
And I
distinctly
speak
different.
normally.
Oh, yeah.
You two
Yeah.
are just... I mean, we're going to have to subtitle this. They'll think it's Portuguese.
Well, no, when it came out the ocean the other day, when he was going, James Bond AI, and like people picked up on it, obviously, because they'll know, but yeah, they're saying, obviously, from Bob, when I started working with him, then we just hit it off, and then I pulled him into MMA, and then it exploded from there, and yeah, we're always travelling together. It's like a husband and wife now.
Which one's which? Are you the husband?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so. Yeah.
You can tell Dan quite.
Bollocks.
You know Dan.
I can tell, man. I know
You know.
Is he bollocks?
Yeah, you know Dan.
How did you two meet each other then?
UFC.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, it's from this.
Oh. So you met working a UFC event?
We met working because your first UFC was 70, right? Bisping, Manchester.
Yeah.
And that was remember the story said that was supposed to be mine.
Who was that? Bisping? Was that?
It was when Bisping came after it was Elvis Sinisic.
Oh yeah.
So it was when Michael won the Ultimate Fighter.
Yeah, that was his first fight in the.
And it was his
actual
first
UFC.
fight in the UK. And it was UFC 70. And that was how long I was supposed to be working. But I think I told the story before was I was still competing at the time. And it became, and then they just called me before it and said, look, you know, blah, blah, blah. And then I went one way, I done another. And then it didn't happen for me at that time. And then when we first started working together, because my first UFC was UFC 89, 2008. So it's
My
13th year. Yes, Akihiro Gono.
Yeah.
And it was weird because I thought it was like the tradition was going to carry on. I thought I'm bound to be doing Dan.
Yeah.
But I didn't. And then when I met Bob, and of course he started, and we obviously from boxing, we knew a lot of mutual people. But then when I heard him talk, I was like, "Where are you from?" He's like, "Up the road, eh?" And then it just went from there. And then Bob's at legend status as far as cutmen go.
You work most events now, then, do you? Most of the
Yeah,
ones
yeah.
that-
Well, obviously till this day, yeah, it was. Yeah, it was really well. It was really thriving, but it is what it is in the time, mate.
Yeah. You do any other events other than UFC?
Yeah, we did quite a few together anyway. But yeah, I still do a few back at home and
Yeah.
a few boxing events. And,
Still do boxing as
Yeah,
well?
yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, just be quiet at the moment, but it's what it is.
Yeah. What was I going to ask? I had a question then, and it's gone out of my head. So, who did you get the call from then to start working UFC?
I came through Dave Lewis, actually.
is that right?
Yeah.
Because boxing, right?
So yeah, he started around about the same time, and I think he was looking to build the team at the time, and it was just for raps really. So yeah,
So
I haven't got a clue what it was. Though.
No one else is available, so they
Yeah,
couldn't.
so yeah. I think I was about 963 on that list. Yeah.
Tell me about the wraps when you wrap in the hands. I'm interested to know how they're different to boxing. Because obviously boxing, they're loading the knuckles a lot more, isn't they?
Yeah, because you got to fill that glove.
Yeah.
So you got the 8 and 10 ounce gloves to fill over 147, 10 stone 7. Your gloves go up to 10 ounce, so you got more padding anyway. You got bigger wrist, more strength in your wrist.
Yeah.
So everything's just reduced to slimline really.
Yeah.
But you still got to keep the strength.
Yeah. So what you're doing, because you can't tape over the knuckles, can you?
No, just onto the straight line.
Right.
So
So you just travelled for every event now together?
pretty well milestone, we really.
What kind of cakes do you get off his missus? What do you recommend when I show up at his house asking for cake?
Do you know what? I had lemon sponge with chicken fillets in it.
What?
Lemon sponge with chicken, because that was my favourites. Beautiful. I've just kept my earpiece.
Keep your milk.
Oh, mate, the cakes, the lemon drizzle done.
He's kicked his stunt double.
Yeah.
Hang on. Lemon cake with chicken fillets.
Well, he shows me that many pictures of his chicken Sunday dinners. I think he has it all together on one big plate.
My missus Sunday dinner. It's like
It's legendary,
it's
mate.
legendary.
Yeah.
Roasters and stuff, and then she makes cakes, and then obviously when I first met Bob, you know, like judges and stuff, like when you know someone's good at what they do. So then I start pulling him into MMA, and he's just started travelling everywhere with me. And because of where he generally, like, obviously would travel together, so he would come over or he would drive and pick me up, and then it just kind of snowballed from there. Then, like I said, he just used to turn up like a cat.
My dinner would be waiting, Dan.
She'd be arranging dinner and making cakes for him.
I even turned up for Sunday dinner when there was no shows.
But we've been literally round the world and back twice. And with Bob, obviously there was even spookier connection, because my father-in-law, sadly we lost this year, and he was a fireman, and Bob was a fireman. Neck and neck, not in the same station, but there's a lot of overlap between firemen, and he was like the generation before Bob. But when they first got together. So I'm like telling him about Bob. My father-in-law, he was ex-household cavalry, ex-military, fire station, officer, blah, 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 blah. And he's a Cockney, he was an elder gentleman, very well-to-do. And he was like, you know what I mean, just set in his ways. And like, we had a great relationship. And anyway, so I was always saying to him about Bob, blah, blah, fire service, and we'd talk about people. And then I finally got them together at the house. But Bob in his own, like, inevitable style. So my father, he was called John. So Bob meets him for the first time. And Bob's the ultimate icebreaker. He's like, how you doing, son? Yeah, John's there, he's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. So I said to the missus, she goes in the kitchen to make a cup of tea. And like 2 minutes later, they're talking about, they're down memory lane about fire service, blah, blah. And all I can hear from the living room is, yeah, blah, 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 blah. I know what I mean, Johnny boy.
The best mates.
And then 2 minutes later, it's, you know what I mean, John's son. John's son, Johnny boy, Johnny. But that's amazing. Bob. Bob would get me out of a hostage situation.
Well, you said this before. You were telling me a story about where were you? Azerbaijan?
No, we was in Russia.
So,
like I said, like when the shows contact me and I put he's number one on the list. I'm too far in that I can't go back. And so we was working for Fight Nights, and obviously it's a Russian promotion. A lot of Russian fighters, a lot of Chechen, Dagestani fighters. And like I said, Bob will get us out of a hostage situation. So I took him over and I've opened the door to this changing room, and there was like full of there was a few Dagestani fighters on the card, so their corners and camps were there. And obviously, it's a different mentality. They knew who I was, and they recognised Bob from, like, obviously UFC. So I opened the door, and it's like, it's not hostile, but it's quiet, shall we say? A lot of serious faces in the room. So I just fucking get in, shut the door, and I go down there. And like I said, I was saying that obviously they don't speak a word of English. Neither does Bob. He ain't speaking Russian. So I go down the corridor and then I'm coming back and all I can hear is all this like roars of laughter from the room. So I opened the door back up and all the guys, I'm not joking, mate. It was like the scene, have you saw Stir Crazy?
No.
Richard Pryor and Gene Wilder, they get sentenced to life imprisonment.
Right. And
they get put in the prison cell with Grossberger. He's like the mass murderer. And all the guards are like, you're fucked now. And then they go and they come back and they're all sitting laughing and playing cards together. It's kind of like that. So I hear all this laughter. And I open the room and they're all like, they've got their arms round him again. He's crazy. But Bob's got the international language of, as he's wrapping hands, you'll look up and go,
The code breaker.
The code breaker. You'll just look up and wink. And that was like his communication tool.
Yeah.
And he's done it everywhere we've gone.
Brilliant. Did you travel much before MMA? Did you travel with boxing?
Yeah, quite a bit, Dan. Yeah, really. We had a good career, really, boxing career. So yeah, I had in a few jobs in Mexico, South Africa, to LA. I went to Freddie Roach's gym.
Oh, I love Freddie Roach's
Got two
gym.
free lads on the undercard of Ricky Hatton in Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, there's some pretty good lads, really.
So you've been around combat sports for a while. You boxed yourself?
Just a few amateur, Dan, but nothing. Maybe a total year's gym. Over 40 now, really, yeah. With amateur as well.
Wow.
We had a great, strong amateur gym, Dan, good grounding, great background, mate. And we took most of the lads with us. When we went pro for our licence, we took most of the lads turned over then. So we started with a really strong stable.
Yeah. What got you into boxing initially? You
Do you know what, Dan?
Or you just...
Truth, I never wanted to fight boxing off you, just get fit.
Is that right?
I went in, because I was applying then, started applying for the fire brigade. And it took me out a fortnight to get fit. So I just started going to the gym. And believe it or not, then I was like a rattlesnake. Not now. I was like ribs. You love it, don't you, son? You love it, ribs.
It's quite haunting, actually.
Yeah.
See, the fans know it because it pops up on the podcast and stuff, and they hear him in the background. So it's...
I was trying to say... Like, funny... on the beach today, I could hear you two on the raft and I could hear you laughing. It was like, mate, it was unbelievable. It was really funny. Yeah, it was great. Great day.
Now he's cutting a little mark for himself, though, isn't he?
Oh,
Yeah.
it is, yeah.
With his questions.
Yeah.
Growing in confidence by the
Yeah.
day.
Have you listened to that interview from yesterday?
Oh, you
With
were talking
Claudio
about
Silva?
No, I was asking him about it today, but what I was saying is like when I first heard him starting the questions, you know, he was a little bit meek, a little bit. He was like, and now he's like settled into.
Oh, yeah, go on. You got the voice.
Oh, the voice started, and then he settled into his groove, and it's taken off. He's doing really good.
Oh, it was great today.
And then you've got thee who shall not speak. It's like you've got two total contrasts. There's actually two raptors, not just one. But we were talking today. I said that because you got James and Jamie. I said that Jamie, he's going to live to he's like 150 because his heart don't go over fucking 20 beats a minute. Absolutely no way. You don't know if he's angry, sad. I think it's
it's
great.
the same line I said.
I would. That's a good quality, mate.
Yeah.
That's a good quality. What are you trying to do?
I tell you what, though, his interview with Mark Montoya, he's got a couple more coming out. Dan Kelly and Sam Greco coming up, aren't they?
You did?
Yeah,
You were speaking? I've got to see this, man.
We've got it on
I'm
video.
proud of you, bro.
Hey, you'll be impressed. You'll be impressed.
So this
different
is
kind of interview.
So after I first saw you interviewing, this was me contacting you.
yeah, correct. So this came out the blue in media day. It's just
Fucking check you out for your Raptors MMA with the questions. Oh, I just want to ask. Fucking hell!
I was working.
Class.
I was working on my laptop, and I just heard this little like, and I was like, I know that voice. And then I looked, and there he was.
You do scare the shit out of him with your voice notes, though.
Huh?
Like you sent him one earlier today, you scared the shit out of him.
Yeah, but come on, man. Huh?
There he goes. Go on, son.
Keep that one off.
Go on, make him have it.
I just hope that, like, you know, obviously the Brits and stuff, like the American audience, I hope they get it and understand. Because obviously, all joking aside, Bob's my man, and we're friends in and out the game. You know, it is a constant fuck about with us, isn't it? Obviously, not when we're travelling stuff. But in work, he knows not to come near me. Like in work, he knows what
Oh
I'm
yeah,
like.
I've got the signs now.
Is he hard work to travel with? Is it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, hard work. What? Gets angry all the time.
Well, it's just when you're tired, isn't it? And when nobody moves out the way and nobody wants to give the seat up and his dinner ain't big enough and his wishes on here quarters fall and...
Oh, that's a new, like in America, you know how they serve like a whiskey in America?
Yeah.
Well, they just fucking obliterate it with ice.
Oh yeah.
So I've ordered like, I can't remember where I was. I was in Vegas somewhere in the bar and I ordered a whiskey. So they've just like, and they put this whiskey in, he's come and sat it down. A glass of ice. It was like a fucking slush puppy. I was like, what is that? And he's like, you ordered it? And I went, yeah. I said, take it back. I said, put them in the website. No, you ordered it. I went, I didn't order that. I ordered whiskey. I said, just 1 cube of ice. 1 cube of ice. So we had this back and forth with this guy in a bar. Because I don't know whether that's how people, but, you know, if I have a little, you know, digestive or a little nightcap, you want to taste what you're drinking.
Yeah.
I don't want a fucking whiskey slush puppy. It was like a snow cone. I thought, what is that?
It's for all the teenagers in Vegas that are drinking
Marc,
whiskey. That's what it is, isn't it?
Oh yeah, we've had some moments, haven't we? So,
Oh, mate, obviously.
the ice cream shop.
We've had.
Oh, you got
So
it.
you're going to have some stories that he's not told me because he's the one that's going to come off bad. So that's why I wanted to...
No.
I never
No,
come off
no.
bad, bro.
Oh, it never comes off bad.
Let me explain this. So we went. I
It's
got the
weird. I
call.
kearkept reading the comments in the thing. Marc Goddard comes across as arrogant. It's very... never come across bad.
Oh God, yeah. Fucking hell.
You do love the comments, don't you?
Oh, the comments are brilliant, mate. But they've been good recently
They
because
have,
they
yeah,
see
yeah.
like.
Well, they see we're having a laugh.
When then they like it's the whole thing again without like when I'm a referee mode,
Yeah.
then they say like, oh, he's arrogant or this, that, and the other. I'm in character. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm doing my like. People say he's stern or he's strict. Isn't that what I'm meant to do?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like nobody wants a strict ref, do they? Till you fucking win depends on it,
That's exactly.
and
it,
everybody
yeah.
wants to be your friend.
Yeah, that's it.
But hey, anyway, it's all good. So yeah, we're in India. So I get the call to go and work for SFL. And I put the team together. Of course, Focko's coming with me. So we're in. Where were we? Was it Delhi? It was Delhi, wasn't it? It was Delhi.
Yeah.
And like I said,
Yeah,
you know, these things are tracked. So we're going to the public weigh-ins at the shopping mall. So he said, like, let's go and get a coffee, son. So we're walking through it, and I said, I want some ice cream. So innocently walk into the ice cream parlour. So he has like a cup, 2 scoops. I have a cup of 2 scoops. So the bloke behind the counter's like fiddle-faddling on his thing, and he goes, oh, such and such rupees. And I was like, yeah. I said, hang on a minute. I said, how much is that? And he said, whatever it was. And I look up at nothing like the prices on there, and I went, that's not what I said. I just ordered 2 scoops. he's stood there, he's eating, he's like, oh, fucking hell.
There we go.
So he's there, and the bloke's like going, blah, blah. I said, how much is that in dollars? And like the bloke was like, proud as punch. He's gone, $30. And I've gone, for 2 fucking ice creams. And I'm there, and he's like that. He stopped eating his ice cream. I said, listen, I'll tell you what, mate. I said, we've got 2 choices here. One is I either pay what I should pay, or I'll come behind the counter and I'll take fucking $30 of ice cream. And the bloke, and Bob was just, I could actually hear Bob behind me going,
Where's my flake?
he was gone behind me.
Where's my flake?
But then, unbeknownst to him, the promoter at the time, who was a guy called Daniel, he was walking past, and I've gone, Daniel, come here. I've got this ice cream in my hand. I'm about to lose it in this ice cream shop. And this bloke just there with like that, $30. And so Daniel come over, and this bloke doesn't know we're together. So they start talking in dialect, blah, 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 blah. And he's basically said to him, look, I'm trying to take the money. Can you fucking leave us alone? And then I can't remember what happened in the end. So I basically gave him an ultimatum. Smashed up shop.
30 scoops.
$30 worth of ice cream.
30 scoops.
Or just take it back. But he'd already eaten half of it. And then the bloke, we were just laughing. It was actually our first foray. I've been to India many times since.
Yeah.
And it's a great place. But I think they just had us as tourists.
Yeah.
30 ice cream for 2 scoops.
That's clever.
Class.
So, talk to me about cuts in the corner, because it's something I've never really got into or understood. But the way you guys get stuff under control, and especially in MMA, when we see some pretty bad ones, can you think of a cut when you sit in octagon side, you can see your fight has been opened up, and you've got to get in there and fix that?
Yeah. You know what, Dan? Not really, because you got to deal with it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So whether it's the smallest or the biggest, sometimes the biggest are easy to deal with anyway.
Yeah.
So it might look worse, but it doesn't really mean.
Where are the worst place on the face of the cuts?
Well, some are different as well. I've got thinner skin, some have got the little veins across, you know what I mean? It's into the eyelids, it's just different positions, but that's it. So
what have you got? What are the tools in your corner? Obviously, you've got grease, which is the standard thing.
Yeah,
you'll put
well,
onto.
our main thing's the adrenaline and the swabs, isn't it?
Right, and that's why
they've got the new stuff now, the quick aid as well. So it is a bit more scientific now than it used to be. It's a lot more clean, a lot more sterile. You know what I mean? We don't have the things in the ears anymore, and in the mouth now we have the gloves and it's but it's all about. It's been looking after the fighters, ain't we, done? Yeah. You know, that's the athletes. That's what it's all about, really, for us. That's no one else matters, really. That's it. That's our job. We've got to give them. That's our time. Yeah. And it's no, it's not our time. It's their time. It's our time to look after them properly. So, yeah.
What's he laughing at?
What's the matter with him now?
Sorry, nothing.
What's the matter with him now, Dan?
I don't know. Sorry. It's Bob, innit? Yeah, it's Bob. It's Bob.
So what
I was trying to be serious with you then, Dan. And he's thrown me one, eh? You know what? I'm gonna jab him into a coma. You know, what is it? The orangutan, Clint Eastwood.
Clyde.
Yeah.
No, it was
You
the
having
thing
it
is,
too.
when he's like a Freudian slip and he's going, it's our time, mate. He's like, oh shit, no, it's the fighter's time. Because you was on this real spiel.
Was
about
I?
it. Yeah, because it was perfect.
Was I going,
you know what I
mate.
mean? It's our
Yeah,
time.
was I going for
We
it
can
then?
edit it. We can tidy it up.
No.
We'll make
Cheers,
it look
Dan.
real.
Yeah.
No,
Fucking
no,
hell,
make it
hey,
real
Dan,
good.
don't listen to him or kill him.
You had me falling out of a chair unedited.
I'm watching
Yeah,
that one.
I'll
when
kill
it
you.
No,
reinforced
this
bar.
is cool. This is cool.
He's had it reinforced.
Yeah.
This is gonna go like.
Did you see him break the chair last
this
week?
is
Did you see him break the chair last week?
Someone showed. Was you showing me? Yeah, someone showed me on the thing.
Yeah.
Where was that?
Well, that was in the other hotel,
The
and
W.
I was actually in that room last night, and it's still there, just sitting there.
It's gotta be,
twisted,
yeah.
But he
abandoned.
does that, mate. He's a sneaky little fucker. Because obviously, one of the best things about Bob, he's old fat. He doesn't have like Facebook or Twitter or stuff. I said I was going to make a profile for him, and he has what he calls WhatsApp. Zap. This is WhatsApp, and he'll always say to me, "I don't look at that shit. I don't look at that shit." Then he'll call me and he go, "Hey, did you see such and such? And who's matched with blah blah blah?" And I'm like, "Well, how did you find that out?" Somebody showed me.
Yeah, my mum showed me.
Sneak, man.
Yeah.
Caught him with his iPad. I reckon he's got some secret profiles.
Do you follow the sport? Are you a fan of MMA?
Not really, Dan.
No, you
Nah,
did this.
nah,
did you?
I'm independent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what's your kit in the corner then? Because you've got your
So you
thing
got
on
the
your
gloves,
wrist.
yeah, you got your odds, your swabs, yeah, just your usual towels, Vaseline, all your grease,
Yeah.
adrenaline, ice, N-swell.
And swell. And when the doctor's coming in, because obviously if there's a bad cut in one of the rounds, the doctor's going to come in and check that between rounds as well. Oftentimes you'll see the cutman they're trying to fix the fighter up before the doctor gets in there to see, and like they'll cover the cut before so the doctor can't check it until the end of the minute.
Yeah.
Like, do you get that minute to work?
You know, I think a lot of them now, they understand that you've got that minute to work anyway, Dan, so they'll stand back and they'll kind of like wait for you to just make a move away anyway before they make a judgment. So that they will, 99% they'll give you time to work properly.
It's where a good ref will come in as well. Because obviously we know, you know the value of a cutsman.
Yeah.
They haven't got a minute, mate. They got 45 seconds.
Can you believe that?
They got 45 seconds if they're lucky. If they're quick in, he's getting on a bit, but he's still getting in there. But they haven't got long. And the last thing, when you see a congested corner, you might have 2 corners. You might have a doctor, a cutman, the camera. You got me. It could be 6 people around. If a doctor comes in, I'll always hold because the protocol is, say, doctor, let the cutman do his job. We'll clear everybody out and we can call time and let you do an inspection. That's fair on him. It's fair on the doctor, and most of all, it's fair on the fighter, because them guys have got a critical job. A critical job about it is the difference of I may keep you in the fight or I may not.
Yeah.
So it's my job to keep control of that, or a good referee to try and facilitate, keep as many people out the way as possible. Let the cutman have his full 40 seconds or however long it takes to get in and out. Then we can bring the doctor in to do, he's the last person, because ultimately it's between me and him then.
Yeah.
If he gives his opinion and the dialogue, is this fight going to go on? But when I see corners like a clusterfuck and the doctor's in there and the cutman's getting pushed out the way, the coach is trying to give his, championship winning advice. Why are you laughing?
I've just remembered something from the last weekend. There was a cutman on the way into the octagon, and Marc Montoya was on his way into the fighter, and the cutman kind of shoved him out of the way to get into the octagon before him. And as he was coming in, Marc Montoya's got the mic on, and he said, "Don't push me out the way, motherfucker." It just popped into my head. Yeah.
We'll say who it was off camera.
Yeah.
It weren't him, was it?
No.
Oh, thank God, yeah. But honestly, it's like the cutmen, their role is vital.
Yeah.
And this is the thing, mate. We said Bob knows that I'm like I've saw. The referees are on show, right? The fighters are on show. The cutmen effectively can be on show, but it's a craft. This guy's been around for 40 years.
Yeah.
And you can't buy that experience, can you?
Is that self-taught? You had to learn all that yourself?
Yeah, it is done, yeah.
So when stuff changes, when you get new equipment in the corner, how do you learn about that? Is that all on you to learn about?
The basic stuff's still always the same. So
Right.
adrenaline's been around forever with the quick wide, which is natural.
Right.
So it's just a progression really, but it's the science now, mate. There's more and more things.
So what does adrenaline do?
It's a coagulant.
Right. So
So
it
it's-
just clots the
yeah.
blood. Right. Okay. Because I've
And then
been
it's
cut
just
once.
great. Oh no, yeah.
Only once. Got a little scar here. 3 stitches, well 5 stitches total.
Was he?
Yeah. And that was the inside. That was the inside seam of a glove. Yeah. See what I've noticed, because I watched. In fact, there's a good boxing match coming up this weekend, isn't there? Lopez and
Lomachenko.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have it on my phone while the fights are going on. Yeah. Boxing seems they get a lot more swelling before they.
You better
cut
tell
you.
them you were joking about that.
What?
Imagine the comments. He's watching boxing. He's going. You better tell him you're joking.
No, the UFC will be over by the time that starts. Boxing tends to swell more, right? Because the bigger gloves.
Yeah. Plus they're taking a lot more punishment.
Yeah.
And I think the difference with MMA as well to boxing, really, Dan, because they're not so used to so many cuts as MMA. It's like they're kind of like the referees are always a little bit wary.
Yeah.
So they ain't like, hey, you just let you do your job, let you crack on.
Yeah.
There, it's kind of like, oh, let me have a look on it. You know what I mean? And it's like a little bit slightly different, really.
Yeah.
We get more freedom here to work properly.
When you see a fighter, do you look at them and you look at where the scar tissue is, and you're like, they're going to open up again if they get caught?
You can tell sometimes, you can kind of work it out a little bit, but it's all right, mate. We can stop it as well, can't we?
Yeah. What about them surgeries? You seen them? I think did Nick Diaz one have them surgeries?
Marcus Davis.
Marcus Davis had one.
Vanderlei, he looked totally
He
different.
does look different.
They shave
That's what Atten had him.
the skull brow, don't
Yeah.
they?
Atten had his eyebrows shaved back down
How did they do that?
because his eyes were
Peel
so
your face
pronounced,
back,
like,
don't
yeah.
they?
Yeah,
Cut
went
your
for the
head.
operation, and then they
Why are you
just
laughing?
shave it and then stitch it back together.
They take it from your hairline,
Yeah.
Right.
peel you down, and then make it more. Why are you laughing?
I'm
You
not
got the
laughing. I'm
giggles.
listening to.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll cut but make a hairline like plastic surgery.
Yeah.
They'll make a hairline incision where it's hidden, pull it down, and where the sharp angular bone is, they'll just file it off and make it round.
Because you
Like-
get calcifications, don't you, on the bone where if somebody's been hit a lot,
Yeah.
especially boxers, you tend to find that kind of real defined brow
Yeah,
and
yeah, that's-
cheekbones. Like that's a calcification from impacts, though, right?
Look at an old picture of Vanderlei, and
Yeah.
they're totally different.
Mate,
It
when
was
he
almost-
first got it done, he looked like he was Elvish,
It was
like
look-
off Lord of the Rings. Like they
Who?
tightened all his face up and everything.
Yeah,
Because initially it was like a heavy forehead, heavy brow bone.
Yeah,
Because of all the scar
yeah,
tissue he had,
protruding out,
flat
yeah,
nose.
yeah.
And he went in for the surgery and he came out looking real
Yeah.
surprised. I remember seeing him in
Crazy, yeah.
Vegas. Because he used to have a gym across the road from the Strip, didn't he? On the other side of the 15. Vanderlei used to have a gym there.
yeah.
And I was there doing a photo shoot one day. It was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I loved Vanderlei. Always been a fan of him. He pulled up in Aston Martin Vantage with a picture of him on the side, and it was the old picture of Vanderlei where he looked like an animal, and he's like that.
The axe murderer.
Yeah, he's like screaming like that, flecked veins and shit all over the place. Door opens and he gets out. He's got a pork pie hat on and a chihuahua under his arm and a big smile on his face. I'm like, that's no way is that the same
Is that
person.
the same guy?
Yeah. Have you worked on someone that's had that done before then?
Yeah. A film in boxing, really, but it's kind of like it's a long spell from the game, really, to get it done and repaired and back in. So
Does it make a difference?
yeah,
It does. So they shave the bone down so
yeah,
it's not as
because
jagged.
it's quite sharp, you know, Dan. Yeah.
I'm lucky. I
Because don't
often
forget,
think that.
it ain't only in the fight as well. It's sparring. It's the weeks before. It's the months, the days, the years, the weeks.
Yeah.
So it's just constantly ticking that pound, you know.
So you're in the gym working with guys when they're sparring as well?
We used to be in the gym, constant every night. That was our life. So yeah, day in, day out.
It's not MMA though, is it, Bob?
Not in
It's
MMA,
like a boxing
no.
thing,
In
yeah.
MMA, I can just turn up and do what I do, and that's me done.
Yeah. Tell me my favourite story, my favourite Bob story
What's that?
about with the other cut man. Because you said you were going to jab him into a coma.
Oh,
It's one of my favourite stories.
Bob's story Chronicles Part 3. There's there's another cup man. We were in Russia, so we're all at the bar. We're all sitting down having a drink. Me, Bob, and Ben Cartledge and David Leatherby, a few other officials were there, and we're just chilling out. And I was, with doing what Brits do, start taking the piss. I was talking about him and another cup man, and I was like, "Shut up, Bar." I said, "He'll do you." And he's like, "He fucking won't. He won't. I'll do this. I'll just clean him out." And then I said, "But he knows jiu-jitsu." I said, "He knows jiu-jitsu." I said, "What are you going to do if he takes you back?" Bob's, he's got his drink and he's gone, put his drink down, he goes, "Takes me back where?" Mate, the whole table has just erupted, and he's just there with his drink going on. Like, look, like we're the idiots. And he goes, "What's he on about? Takes me back, takes me where?" You know what I mean?
I love it.
Mr. Knowledge,
That's my
Hey,
favourite,
Mr.
I love
Knowledge,
it, I love it, I
Mr.
love it.
Knowledge.
What are the highlights of your career? Can you think of certain points when you were like, God,
You know
I
what?
can't believe I'm here?
Dan, nah, not really, because I'm happy with a debut, an amateur, a top profit. I'm as happy with anyone I ain't. There's no barrier, mate.
Yeah.
Nah, I just love. And I'll give you the story this week, and this is like moments for me. But you know, Impa, the kid who got.
Yeah.
So I was just wrapping his hands this week, nice, relaxing. What a lovely kid. He introduced me to his dad. He says, "Do you mind if I put the music on?" I says, "Mate, this is your room. You do what you want to do." And he's got like this gospel music on that he was singing through the church, and his dad was there. And you know what, mate? It's just priceless.
Yeah.
It's priceless, mate.
It's because they're the moments that nobody else gets to see. Do they?
Priceless.
You get to share them with the fighters in a real intense moment right before they walk
Because it's
out.
all about them, isn't it? This is their moment. This is
So I
their time.
tweeted about.
It ain't my
I
time. man, this
tweeted
is for
about
them.
that kid.
Yeah. Oh, what?
I tweeted about that kid.
About Impa?
Impa, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you? What a lovely,
Because,
what a lovely
you know,
bloke, you know.
Mate,
Real
that's what I
amazing
said.
character.
I don't care
Real,
what people. Oh, yeah, look, you got to talk about fighters and their fuck off. I was talking about the fact that the kid, you know, in a non-condescending way. Honestly, what a lovely human
Lovely
being.
bloke, yeah.
I think
And a
he's-
pleasure to work with.
Yeah, I
Like.
think his father's a pastor or a preacher
That's
or whatever.
well, I kind of like put that together from
Yeah.
the music because he was singing to me at first, and I thought that's all right, that is. And he says, "Yeah, it's my church music."
He came out to a gospel.
And then and he put his Alexa up, and he says, "Do you mind if I play this?" I says, "You do what you want, mate. This is your room."
Yeah.
It was beautiful, mate.
Is it difficult when, obviously, because that fight didn't end his way, is it difficult when you make that connection with those fighters in that moment and then you see
I knew
it
you was going to ask me that then.
Well, it's interesting because it's
Yeah,
interesting.
and yet it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet it is.
I know. Yeah. You'd be lying if you said it don't affect you, wouldn't you?
Yeah. Like, do you feel a part of that corner team when you're there? Or do you try and stay separate from it?
Well, like it's a little bit different for us here because we're having to wrap away from the arena. So like once he's gone, really, that's my job done with him, really. Right. Unless you know what I mean. On a normal show, we can be there, but so once I'd wrapped his hand and got ready, he was transported, and that was me finished with him then. But Dan, that's one of a million stories, mate. There's some amazing characters out there, you know, that he's yourself. It's.
What about the IMAF, Bob? We love with it.
Oh, mate, the IMAF. Well, that's the thing now because the sport's developing that good, the science is coming, the levels are just going amazing, and I tell you, we meet the best kids in the world, don't we, mate? We do. We met there's like, they're smiling from the coming, they're smiling through the tournament, they're smiling all the way after. It's just amazing, mate. Yeah. Amazing concept. Amazing for the sport, really. It's a great push for the
Last year's
sport.
Worlds, mate.
500
odd athletes.
Incredible.
Is this when these boys were there as well?
No, they were in Rome, but Rome was huge too.
Right.
Rome was the European, but we had the World Championships in Bahrain. Obviously,
Yeah.
I put it on Bob years ago. I had to get him involved in IMAF to start sorting them out and the cutmen. So I dragged him in there, and everybody loves him there. And
It's an amazing place, though. It's a great place, though. Great tournament.
but the kids, mate, honestly,
Yeah.
like when we had the youth tournament. So we have the junior seniors, which is 18 to 21, 21 plus seniors. But then last year we done the first ever IMAF youth tournament where we have restricted rules, no headshots, etc. 12, 13, 14, 15, 15, 16. 3 times I had to walk out the room.
Really?
Teary-eyed.
Yeah.
It's honestly, it's amazing. It's amazing what they. It's the same place where we were in June. We went back in August, and you said they come out. They call you sir.
Yeah, and
this, the
and it's just like and you see the kids like year on year. It's just the level, like
You watch them
it's
develop.
the ability. It's just amazing. I dread to think how good it's going to be in another few years because it is. It's just like mind blowing.
It's so fulfilling.
Oh yeah.
That's what I say about IMAF.
Yeah.
I'd never my involvement in working with them. It's amazing working on massive fights and the big stars and and Vegas and stadiums and world titles. Amazing. What a privilege. But it's the same privilege when you're working with these kids.
Yeah.
And like I said, getting emotionally invested, and when you watch the level of them, because it's their World Cup to them. I remember last year at the Worlds, there was a thing in was a fight from Beirut, and it was a semi-final match with a Russian, and what happened is he had him in a guillotine. The Russian tapped, but the ref didn't see it, and the fight went on. So we have in IMAF, because it's a tournament format, there's an appeals process, and obviously it has to be something like an egregious foul or something you didn't see. So I get, it's like when he sees, you don't see me for a week, do you? IMAF, mate, I want to change my fucking name. I love it. It's the best thing ever. But I'm telling you, mate, I've never more exhausted at the end of a week, because everybody's like chasing after me. Mark, protest. What's happened? We don't agree with the judges. That's not a fucking protest. You can't do that. You know what I mean? So we have to check them. 5 minutes later, Mark, protest. What happened? We don't agree with the judges. I'm like, listen, what? Anyway, but then was like, this thing was like a foul. The match was over. Obviously, the ref didn't see it. So they came to me, they pay like a process fee, like a proper written, protocol. And then, so I go and watch the footage, clear as day, the kid taps. So I bring the Russian coach and the fighter back in. I showed him that. Russian coach straight away, shook my hand, clear as day there. Then I go and get the kid, and I tell him he's back in the tournament, and he bursts into tears, mate. And then I'm like that. So, yeah, mate, because I've been, you know what I mean? We know what the sport is. Yeah. And this is their World Cup, and I'm saying, this is this kid's dream. And I'm saying, and he's looking at me, he's put his head on me, he's crying. And I'm like, my eyes are there, and I'm like, get him away. You know what I mean? But it just, honestly, mate, you can't put into words how fulfilling it is watching the IMAF tournaments. It's one of the best things I've ever got involved with in this sport. Yeah,
it's good to see some of those guys starting to get to the pro ranks now as well. We've had a few crossover to the UFC recently.
Yeah. One FC, Bellator.
Oh, yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, you see a lot of them at the shows as well, later, like developing and it's amazing.
And he does the same. Obviously, I was doing the talk today, the technical seminar for IMAF, because it's as much as it's for the development and experience of the athletes, it's the same for me bringing on the officials. He'll do the same, bringing on the cutmen. Look at you might have seen him here this week, Angelo, the little guy with the coloured glasses. The Italian new cutman, this is his first call up to UFC. He's put in all the graft, years of work, years of tournament, He's from a Thai boxing background, so he's got all the experience. And then they're learning under Bob, and then we're bringing them on and into the fold as well. They've served their apprenticeship the right way, and they're coming through. Yeah, I'm off all the way. Yeah, love it.
So you're training guys up as well now at the same time.
Yeah, we spoke about it quite a bit, I bet, and. It's just a steady progression. It's all about, it's just a learning process all the way through. Never stop studying and learning, do you, with this game? Yeah. That's all I need to do. I need to put something back to them now. Really, that's my that's my aim now. Yeah. Just give it back to them.
It's different with boxing, because obviously do you travel with your fighters in boxing? Because I always remember Stitch used to get a call up to go and work. Klitschko,
so
like in boxing, you can bring your own. You bring your own cutman, right? Yeah. So as that, because it's different in MMA.
Well, I mean, like through our gym, I used to take care of our own anyway. So I never farmed ours out to anyone else, never. But other people, obviously, they aren't. I don't know, maybe inexperienced coaches now in boxing, but we kind of like pick quite a bit up there, really. Yeah. So wraps, cuts. I think they're starting to transgress a little bit more into this model. Right. So it's kind of like, we'll train them, and when we get there, can somebody wrap their hands and somebody do the cuts? There is a lot still to their own, but if you've got a few lads on your show, it's bump, so they kind of need to get someone settled in with them, really. Yeah. So. Yeah.
But like with boxing, obviously, you get to follow the amateurs through to the pro ranks and watch them develop a lot more. Yeah. Like with IMAF, you kind of see them at the tournaments.
Yeah, just the same concept. Yeah, amazing, mate.
It must make it more difficult though when you know the fighters personally and they're from your gym. Do you not think? I mean,
in the boxing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was done, but my view was that I was going to take care of my kid anyway. Yeah. So I can, if it ain't right, I've got the chance to call that. Yeah. So it's kind of like I always, Yeah, 9 times out of 10 it was my decision which way we were going to go with the boxing, and
Right.
I don't really like to trust them anywhere else.
Yeah. So in boxing, you'd pull a fighter out if you thought they'd had enough.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But not in MMA. You can't.
Well, that's not.
You don't.
thing
Do you
for
give
me.
any feedback to the doctor? Do you just let the doctor make that
No,
decision?
I'll never override the doctors, mate.
Yeah.
No, it's up to them now. I can
Yeah.
only do what I do, Dan, and then they'll make the call along with the
Yeah.
referee. So no.
What about the old broken nose thing? When people
Oh,
blow their
yeah,
nose
yeah,
and
oh,
blows
yeah.
their eyes up. How often do you see that?
Do you know what, Dan? Not really that much, as much as I thought, really. Because like when I come into the sport, I thought, yeah, I think this might be the main kind of injury, really. But it's that varied. You know what I mean? Like they get cuts on their legs, they get their legs swelling. They got it's anywhere.
Yeah.
So it's like it's way different.
Yeah.
Yeah, way different.
That's different. That's different to boxing as well, isn't it? Because in boxing, you're dealing with the face in
Just
boxing all
that's
the
it.
time.
Yeah.
Whereas so do you let the corner teams deal with ice in the legs and that kind of
And
stuff?
well, there's only so much we can do. So what we will cry and fix it. As a cutman, we got to look at whatever we can do. So
Yeah.
but that's a good corner. Jim,
Yeah.
they'll let you do your work, and if I can still give them space as well, because I understand they got a massive important job because they want to talk to their kid, they want to be in there, So I'll try and give them space to where I try not to interfere with the good corner really. Just let them work away, and hopefully they don't really know I'm there. I'll just do my beats and move away, and on we go.
Yeah.
Next round.
Yeah. So you've been around the world then, you boys have.
Many times.
And
Many
many places
times.
left is the sun.
Is there anywhere you haven't been where you'd like to go?
Countries.
Yeah.
UK.
There's a ton of countries.
What are you laughing at, Rich?
There's a ton of countries I'd like to go, like South American stuff, but obviously I work a lot in the States as well. Bob doesn't, unfortunately, because there's a ton of cutmen there and stuff, but like we have literally been at like the four corners, like I said, there's that many stories, so many stories like of just mad stuff that just goes on when we're on the trips. Like, and we're like when we go to New Zealand or China, wherever, and I'm like 3 a.m, like Jet, and I'm like, "Are you awake, son?" He's like, "Yeah." He goes, "Should we get a coffee?" And I can hear him. We're in some hotel in China. I can't remember what it was, and I was like, "We're going to get a coffee," and I could actually hear him going through the wall. I was like, "Oh fucking hell!" He was in the next room, and I was just like knocking on the wall, going.
Yeah. Prisoner cell blockade.
Let's just go and get out.
Yeah, we've got this code for the coffee on the wall.
And we just go out and walk and go out everywhere.
Yeah.
But it's like I've got a scrapbook full of pictures of me and him and in loads of places. Like it's mad, like a mental. You know what I mean? All these countries all over the world. It will make for a good scrapbook one day.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, I need to get some of the stories of what's happened.
Yeah, you forget. Yeah, we forget a lot. We forget a lot as well.
We need to get them documented.
Yeah. Did you travel much before you, like outside of work, outside of being a cutman? Are you a traveller anyway?
Yeah, just normal holidays really. Like
Yeah.
just me and the wife. Yeah, just,
Loves his holidays, don't
yeah,
you,
it's
son?
holidays.
Where to?
Yeah, anywhere, mate.
Yeah.
Don't lie, Bob. Tell them
Anyway.
where you go.
Into Europe.
Well, anywhere really. We'll just make a decision, and we like the Christmas. We like the Christmas away, you know what I mean?
Oh, really?
Winter
Yeah.
sunshine,
Christmas
yeah,
away.
yeah, so, yeah.
I think you've been sticking around for Christmas dinner at Goddard's house.
Well, I think that's next on the list. You don't know.
Expertly avoiding that. You're telling me you work hard, mate. He works his balls off.
Yeah.
Same as we work hard. He loves the Caribbean.
Right.
Loves his 2 week. He loves an all inclusive. Loves his all
Oh,
inclusive.
this is working.
Oh yeah,
out
maybe
alright.
Cardi and Coke.
See, I'll tell you another story. We've gone on.
We got to lead him into those, ain't we, Dan?
We've gone.
listen.
We were coming back from the Middle East. We worked on this promotion. It wasn't the UFC, and because obviously flying all the time, and you get status with the airlines. So we got a gold card with Emirates. So we'd gone into the lounge and blah 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 blah, and they bumped us up. Like they looked after us, they looked after me. So I sweet talked them at the check-in. He's with me. So he go in, he's dressed like he's a fucking painter and decorator. I'm like, whatever. So we're in the lounge, and we've gone on to the the Emirates class,
Yeah.
business and Emirates. So we've gone upstairs. He's walking out. I've gone to get in my seat, and I'm thinking, I know he's behind me, but I've seen him go down the other aisle. So as I'm sort of getting my stuff out of the seat, and like the air host there, and they're all meeting you personally, showing you in your seat, da. And I'm looking, and I could see this air hostess is just going, like looking over those. So I look over. He stood on the other side of the aisle with his bag, like just staring over at me, just looking at us, me and the air hostess, and I'm looking at him. I'm like, fucking please God, no. I'm like, just keep walking, Bob. Just keep walking. And he's looking over at me. He's trying to get the attention of the air hostess, and then I think she was foreign anyway. She probably wouldn't have a clue what he's saying. And I'm just there like trying to be welcome, Mr. Goddard, blah, 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 blah. He's there with his rucksack on. He's painting and decorating and he's going, he's a clown, he is. He's a clown. The girl's like, she's just looking at me and going, and I've gone, I don't even know who that is. And I'm looking at him, I'm going, fucking get to your seat. And he's going, he's a clown. Tell him to sit down, he's a clown. The woman, the air hostess.
Yeah, you couldn't rewrite it, could you?
She's just looking at me going like, is he okay? I went, I don't know him. I don't know.
Disown him.
Yeah, you couldn't rewrite it, could you?
Do you ever have any trouble travelling with stuff? Because obviously travel restrictions and stuff at the moment.
Yeah, I went through quite a bit of a spell with the scissors and things at the airport, but obviously they've made a few. They made it a lot easier now for us to travel, with a smaller pair of scissors so they will make an allowance now, really. We did it one time, adrenaline. We used to have a nightmare with it. But it's all good now, really. Yeah.
Adrenaline's a powder, isn't it? It comes in powder.
No,
It's liquid, is it? Right, okay, because that's the problem.
Yeah, so it's, So as long as you've got the small bottles, you can travel it through.
Do you have to use much of it in a corner?
No, not really, no. No, it's...
the thing is, because of all the years I've been in around combat sports, I've just never had a problem with cuts. I used to swell up pretty good. I used to get good bruises and good swelling, but my skin's like a rhino. It just don't seem
that's the thing, see, as well. And like what a lot forget as well, when you're stripping weight bad down, your skin becomes thinner, so you're more susceptible. So if you ain't properly rehydrated, you'll get more cuts anyway. So because like your skin will start to tear a little bit more and it'll be easier. So it's like really you should be feeding it while you're stripping weight.
It's weird because the thing is like the cutman. It's like an area of combat sports that I just don't know much about.
Yeah.
Because I've never had many interactions with them. I mean, like the end swell, I always used to hate that in Thai boxing. Get cracked with a knee or an elbow and you get a big swelling, and then you cut. But my cornerman used to do it.
Yeah.
And you come in with the end swell in a bucket of ice.
And that's the thing, if you're having a bit of a tear up down, the last thing you want is somebody messing with your face.
Horrible.
I'm thinking they must really hate me at this minute in time. They must really think
they do.
I wish he'd get out of my way.
You do see it though, don't you? Like sometimes when the cutman's going up the nostrils, they'll be like, get away.
Worst feeling in the world, isn't it?
Sorry.
You can't breathe.
Yeah.
Your fucking nose is over here. You got him. All right, son. You know what I mean? So, but they got the job.
But
to do,
that's the thing, Dan, of us like wrapping hands. That's like kind of the thing of gaining the trust.
Right.
So if you can just break that ice a little bit, then make them think, he knows what he's got to do, really.
Yeah.
They know we're there for him anyway, mate. That's our sole job, eh?
Yeah, and the thing is, a lot of fighters they get used to getting cut. Something I hear in corners a lot is like when someone sits down, the corner man will reassure them that it's not a bad cut.
Yeah.
If somebody gets cut a lot, they're like, don't worry, you're fine. It's just a nick or whatever. I remember I cut Marcus Davis, and I mean it was a pretty bad cut that was, but his corner man was.
I left it.
Yeah.
Had to stop for an inspection.
Did. Lovely roll over elbow.
Put you back in the same place.
You did. Not in the Danny Rushton one though. I'll never forget that one. Oh, what?
Pray
Remember
tell.
that? Danny Rushton.
Yeah. What happened?
Dropped him with a jab.
Yes.
Cut him open in his forehead.
Yeah.
And as he cut open, I didn't drop him with a jab. Sorry, that was a bit later in the fight. I hit him with a left hook and cut him.
Yeah.
And then stepped in, took him down outside reap, landed in his guard. And as soon as we landed, you stopped the fight to check the cut.
Yeah.
And then restarted his standing.
Absolute bollocks. Film or it didn't happen. That's the only thing you've ever got in this.
That's it. I can't complain. You've refereed me, 14, 15 times? I'm going to go through and have a look, because I think it is 14 times. And what Marcus Davis was the last one.
No, Amir Sadollah.
Did you referee him for Sadala?
I did, and that's cool when you don't even remember.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't. Oftentimes I don't. I remember Dan Mergliata refereed my UFC debut.
I can hear it going on.
Yeah, because I remember right at the end of the fight, the bell went and Gono was mid-air throwing a knee.
Caught him.
And Mergliata
Yes,
just
bodied him.
smushed him into the
Bodied him into the fence.
That was wicked.
Yeah, I refed you twice in the UFC. Marcus Davis and Amir Sadollah, which was in Nottingham.
Yeah. And I've never lost with you refereeing.
Never. Well, imagine the comments.
I know.
Fucking fix. They're friends. Look into him, man. Look into him. No,
But the thing is, we weren't until I'd stopped fighting anyway.
of course, we
Like,
always
we
kept
knew each other, but you always keep a good distance. I mean,
keep the-
and it's worth noting this because obviously, like for a start, so this is a different hotel to the one that the fighters are in Fight Island. Commentators and all the production staff are over in the W because we have all our meetings there. That's where the corner teams and the fighters are. Media and officials are in this hotel, which is a different one. So to intentionally keep you separate.
like because we're here for so long, it's absolutely brilliant. It's the right thing to do. Normally at a UFC, because we'll come in fairly, we're only there for 3 or 4 days.
Yeah, don't mind.
We share the same hotel.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter, and your paths don't really cross. But because of here, it's actually we much prefer it, don't we?
Yeah.
We're in a lovely hotel, our own pools, balcony, everything's there for us. It's just better.
Yeah.
Because you're here for such a long time. On a regular event, when you don't spend a lot of time, the crossover period's only a couple of days. We're in the same hotel and it's normally pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's fine.
Yeah. So what do you do between events then? Or your downtime? What do you read crosswords? You look a crossword guy for me.
I've been doing a bit of reading, just chilling out reading.
What are you reading?
I've got a couple of books. You want some?
I'm interested to know what you read.
The cat's
I've got Andy McNabb at the minute, and I've just
is
read.
it?
Yeah, and I've just finished Charles Bronson.
Right.
So yeah, the autobiographies, then,
You get bored. You get bored between the events.
I never read unless I come away.
Do you not? Is that
Yeah,
right?
I'll get bored. Yeah, away. Yeah, I do. Yeah.
What do you do when you're at home? Are you carpenter? did you say?
Working, yeah, and cut my grass.
And sends me pictures of it.
You know the Sunday dinners he sends me? I send him a picture of my lawn with all the lines in. Then.
Sends me pictures of his
Have you seen the one on IMAF?
What did you just say about the book you were reading?
Charles Bronson,
Before that?
Andy McNabb.
Absolute
There's one. There's one.
That goes fishing. That's what
Yeah. How
That's what he's
to cut your lawn and feed it properly.
you're
There's a clip on somewhere from the IMAF, and I think I just got into my room and the patio door was broke. So I called down and the maintenance man popped up and he got his messing around with his tools. So I got his lead plugged in and got his drill, took the door out, and I drilled the lock out of my door, repaired it, put the new one in, and he was like stood, what's going on here? Yeah.
What do you do? What's your job? You do a bit of everything.
I'm maintenance, a carpenter.
Nice.
So I do maintenance.
So what other jobs? So you fireman,
I'm
Carpenter.
finished fireman now, retired.
cutman.
Yeah, that's it.
What else? Gardener. Yeah.
Bit of
Is that
gardening.
amateur though? Is that?
Yeah, that's just for me, don't
You never cut Goddard's lawn then, no?
Oh, I'd do it.
You would, yeah.
I'd put
Do you
that
make
a
the
bit
best
like a
of it?
football pitch. So.
You don't cut my lawn, mate.
No, you
I
don't.
can't imagine you doing it.
I have a gardener.
Oh, you do, yeah.
I do, yeah.
Oh, could you?
I'm not. What do you mean you can't imagine? Oh, it's too big for a lawnmower.
Yeah.
Donkey Kong gonna sit on lawnmower.
Like Mario Kart.
You can just imagine.
Bowser.
You know what I mean?
Cutting the lawn down and he ain't enjoying it. And the neighbour says, "All right, Mark." He's gone, "Shut up."
He does get angry, doesn't he?
Oh, here we go again.
Oh, what?
We've just We've just managed to.
Mate, no,
Oh yeah.
I've been angry all week this week.
Have you?
Anyway.
He says him.
What?
Just check the last podcast. And I fucking said to him, right? He's talking about me.
Have you?
We'll break that ice. Yeah.
Yeah. So tell me about this makeup that you're wearing anyway.
Yeah.
Did you?
I've done him.
I look like
you doing?
I look
Yeah.
like what's his name from The Cure? What's his name? Brian, I think. Well, what happened was, a careless fucking moron buried his careless
I
moron.
can just see a black beard there and nothing else. Oh, fair play. Get in there, Ribs.
Oh, stop!
Get in there, Ribs.
Stop! No, we were on the beach at the apparatus, you know, like the pull-up bars and stuff.
Yeah.
And it was like, mate, I swear to God, that eye poke, that would have been fight over.
That's it.
It was fucking
No contest.
catastrophic. He stood there jumping up down a tyre. I went, oh, he's gone, bam! Thumb, mate. I felt it in the back of my head. He hurt me, man.
It was bad. It was
good.
bad.
Man, look at him now.
Well, you don't look too bad.
I look
now.
like an
It was
80s new romantic. Huh?
It was bleeding. Too big for a new romantic.
Yeah, it was blood. Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
You know. Am I really that big?
You're massive, yeah.
I know.
You're
He thinks he's great. Oh, look at Goddard sat on.
That's why John Gooden don't want to train with you, because you'll snap him. Glass Swan, I'm telling you.
Yeah. Well, no, don't start me off.
No, I'll bring him over. He
John,
doesn't want to train.
don't be scared, mate.
Don't be scared, John.
I'll train with. He thinks I'm going to break him.
Yeah.
You are.
Have you never done any grappling? Never been interested?
No.
Fucking
No.
hell.
No.
He did once. He had his grappling debut in Singapore. We was on the open mats. He's come across the mat. So I've like grabbed him, like roughing him up, going, Bob. I've took him down. He's on the mat. He's turned around. His lips had gone purple. I was like, Bob! I was like, fuck, Bob, wake up.
Yeah.
And then
I've been tapping out 2 hours and 26 minutes.
I did. I was like, Bob, what's happening?
Yeah.
He's got all blue in the mouth. Of like, get up, like, you know, get some water. But he made it.
He made it.
He made it.
Incredible, eh?
Too many stories, mate. We've got an absolute, but it's the best thing, mate.
Foldable.
Like, we joke about, but, you know, me and him are always together and always travelling. And it's just...
And look at this. Look what we've got here.
Yeah.
This is amazing,
Good,
mate.
isn't it?
Imagine setting this up in normal times.
Yeah.
And they've done it in this.
Yeah.
It's the bollocks, mate.
Yeah. You've been
Yeah, we did July, yeah. Yeah.
Did you do the Khabib Poirier fight as well? 2-5-2.
Yeah, we were here.
for that.
Yeah.
That was different. I mean, we were in this hotel then.
Yeah.
I was staying.
We
here.
were all here, weren't we?
Yeah.
But it was in the temporary structure.
A massive building.
And then we stay because we work Abu Dhabi Warriors and that. Bob's here with me on them shows.
Yeah.
Just, even more
Oh,
stories.
yeah. Yeah, stayed over for that weekday.
Yeah. So what do you do? You get all your work through Marc now from
No, we still do our own shows, but we do try and kind of get a lot of shows together now. We still do.
Yeah. Boxing slowed right down though recently.
It's real struggling in the UK at the minute. Yeah, it's the sign of the times, eh?
Yeah.
And I don't think they can replicate anything like this. They can have a little go, but they ain't got the support in the back end of that. This is just amazing, ain't this?
Yeah. It is amazing. Yeah. Did you ever watch much boxing? Were you a fan of boxing?
Yeah.
Yeah. Who would you used to watch?
Oh, I was a big Duran fan.
Really?
Yeah.
Hands of stone.
Yeah.
He made a mess of a few people.
Oh yeah, it just come from nothing, eh? But funny enough, I watched the Johnny Tapia. We've been talking about it, the Johnny Tapia documentary, and
The Vida Loca.
Oh, I see that.
amazing.
You know Tapia, right?
Yeah.
Oh, his story.
That's a
I
great
read his book.
documentary. Yeah.
If you watch the documentary or read his life, what a life story
Yeah,
he
real
had.
tough fight.
Incredible.
Yeah.
Incredible story.
Well, there's some great characters around, ain't there? You
Yeah.
know, this sport, that sport. There's some great people around it.
Yeah. So Duran, you were fabulous for them.
Well, do you know what, Dan? Really, all around that era was a great era for boxing anyway.
Yeah.
So which kind of like, you'll never get that time back.
Yeah.
That's
See, I was the John after you, because for us growing up, it was the super.
Ben
Huh?
and Eubank for me. That was when I
Eubank,
remember.
Collins,
Yeah,
then
oh, yeah.
Later Calzaghe,
yeah.
but that was the super era there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was never much of a
Best
fan of
era in
Calzaghe.
British
Oh,
boxing.
100%.
I
Yeah,
know
Steve
it was
Collins.
It was Irish too, but that era, that super middleweight era,
Yeah.
and the middleweight
Yeah.
in British boxing, you'll never
Yeah,
replicate
no,
it.
you are not.
Who's your best British boxers then, do you reckon? Who comes to mind? Just
For
generally.
me,
Yeah.
my favourite boxer stylistically is Chris Eubank.
Yeah. Oh, what an uppercut. There are two people in the world that do one uppercut and I can't do it, and it's that slip off the centre line, come up the centre. And Eubank's one of them, the other one's Masato, who used to fight in K1.
I know Masato, yeah.
Yeah, I could just never get that punch. I don't know
Watch Chris Eubank's footwork.
why. Yeah.
He was very wide. He'd cross a ring in 2.5 strides.
Yeah.
He'd be like, boom, boom, on you.
Yeah.
His footwork and his chin was
Amazing.
second to none. He's probably my favourite British boxer.
Really,
And his brain as well.
Yeah.
The science in his brain.
What about yours, Bob?
You know what? I probably might agree with you there. Nigel Benn was always good for a tear-up, wasn't he? He was always... He was one way or the other, so it was always going to be exciting, but... yeah, it's a great times, eh?
Yeah.
Great times, then.
My favourite thing about Chris Eubank was how he used to... Well, first of all, he used to just command a ring. Like, walking out, getting in the ring, everything. Psychologically. But then there's one clear memory I've got of him, and he was wearing red shorts and red gloves, and he dropped his man with a body shot, and he walked into the corner, and instead of facing back into the ring, he just stared down the camera lens like that with his gloves stacked on top of one another. And you can see the bloke in the background crawling around trying to gasp for air. What a boxer, hey? What a boxer. Do you think
it ain't there anymore, is it, Dan? It's not.
No, not really. There's not the competition now, though, is there?
I don't
the champs
think so.
don't fight one another anymore.
No, I just.
I think heavyweight is.
Well, I mean, there's been a bit of resurgence in heavyweight for sure.
last
What do you
few
think
years.
of Tyson Fury?
Oh, yeah.
He's been sparring with Aspinall, hasn't he? Tom Aspinall. Yeah.
He used to spar a lot of kickboxers as well.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, he used to train in the same gym that I used to do my pad sessions in. I would be in there wrapping my hands as Tyson Fury was finishing his pad session.
Yeah.
And he'd get out and then I'd use the
What a
ring.
character, eh?
Oh, yeah. Fascinating individual.
Yeah.
Really
And
interesting.
the good thing is, he's like that in real life, eh? That's just him.
Yeah.
That's just the way he is, and that's why everybody likes him, eh?
Yeah. Yeah. What about the Prince and Nassim end of the boxing spectrum? Did you enjoy them guys, the showboats?
Yeah. There's class actor, aren't they?
Yeah.
All nice, good styles, their own styles, separate styles, but
Yeah.
effective.
Yeah, that's it.
Ingles gym, and it's like that
Yeah.
stylistic. Anybody that said they didn't enjoy watching Nazim, and come on, it's just a shame that after when he lost to Barrera,
Yeah,
he just couldn't he couldn't
No.
deal with that, which is a shame because you never saw the true strength of him
Yeah.
after that defeat to walk away. But obviously he had his own reasons, thinking I can't be the greatest ever. I'm not going to be the greatest ever. That was down to him, wasn't it? But I think it was a shame because he had so much more to give.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was a spectacle to watch box.
I remember there was one fight he had where it took him 14 minutes to get to the ring because he was dancing. And by the time he was halfway there, his opponent was standing on the ropes.
Was it Robinson?
Him. I don't remember. You probably remember better than me. But because he started off
on
and
forever
like
and
big
ever.
Screen,
Yeah.
like a big screen.
Yeah.
There was like a silhouette behind
Yeah.
him. He's dancing behind it. Then he comes out and he's dancing down the ramp. And then he turns around and goes back. And then he
It's all
starts
the mind
again.
games, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's all the mind
By the
games.
time he got there, his opponent was exhausted. Like he was literally standing on the bottom rope, like, "Come on, let's go, let's fight."
We were fortunate in Birmingham though, mate. We've had some class boxers from our national, British level and stuff, obviously.
Who were your local boxers then?
Oh,
Who were the big names?
Mackin, McCracken. We had them, the McCracken gang down with.
The McCracken brothers.
Yours,
I
yeah.
commentated.
Froch from your way.
Yeah, Juwade Khalid was also
Yeah.
Obviously,
around my
He was
way.
in the class of 2000, Froch, when
Something like that.
yeah.
I commentated with Matt Macklin
Was you?
on Sky Sports when I did the Maymac fight. He was one of the commentators.
Robert was the most well known.
Wayne Elcock.
When
It's
he
all from your, all from yours,
all
right?
Burmese.
Yeah.
But I used to train and spar a lot with his brother, younger brother Spencer. Spencer was like he was a brawler. Like Robert was the boxer. Spencer was a fucking tough bloke.
Yeah.
Taught me a lot. He did.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mainly keep your fucking hands up.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was tough. But yeah, McCracken and
And then he's got the GB job, eh?
yeah, and obviously he was
Yeah.
from what he's doing with GB and obviously with Froch as well. And then from an amateur perspective as well, you remember Frankie Gavin. Frankie Gavin was a Birmingham boxer. He was the only British world amateur champion. He was like on an amazing tear, and when he turned professional, it just never came together for him. He couldn't get it together in the pro game. But he was like a massively highly touted prospect. He went to the Olympics as a gold medalist. But he had trouble there with his weight, didn't he? And never made it. But then he went on to win there. He was, like I said, he's the only British boxer, I think, still to win a world amateur gold.
Really?
Yeah.
What are the differences between amateur and professional in boxing, do you think? Like styles and that kind of thing?
Oh yeah.
Because
It's,
obviously there's no headgear
completely
anymore,
no.
Right.
It's completely different aids. Nice and light. A lot of it's point scoring, and whereas the pro gamers they settle a little bit. They sit more on the shots. The power comes into being the movement. Plus the science is a bit different as well.
Yeah. Do you prefer it with or without headgear?
I do. Yeah, personally.
Without?
Yeah.
Yeah. Why is that?
Yeah. I think it gives them a false sense really at the start, and it was talked about for a lot of years, a really long time before they made that decision, you know, and I think it's a good decision.
I thought they went away from it and brought it back in.
No, I don't think it's not in easy.
Oh.
Yeah.
I know they did go away from it.
Yeah. You ever boxed? Train boxing, never boxed yourself?
Never boxed competitively. Boxed in and out for a long time, but I never had a boxing match. But spent a long time with boxers, and obviously in Birmingham we were fortunate to.
Plenty around. Did you get much crossover with MMA fighters in the boxing gym? Do you see any coming into the gym?
You know what? They're starting to come through now. They're starting to switch a little bit more now. Yeah.
It was a late thing because don't forget we went through that whole thing of like they were against us. No, we don't want that. We don't want to be associated. And then obviously as a sport we proved our worth. And a lot more gyms where, like I remember, a lot of boxing coaches who we know that there was really guarded. Like, no, you don't go to an MMA gym, or we're not having MMA. They were really like, no, it's not happening. They were too old school.
Yeah.
Don't bring them here, and don't you go there. If I find out you're going to go there, I'll throw you out the gym.
Yeah.
But then obviously things started to open
now
up
we're so
more,
much yours.
and now it's the crossover's huge.
Yeah.
And look, if you're going to be a boxer, then you're going to box, right? You know what I mean? It's the whole thing about MMA, gi, no gi, etc., etc. If you're going to box, you go to a boxing gym. Is there really going to be? Has there ever been a world class MMA fighter going to transgress to do the same in boxing? It's not going to happen, and it certainly ain't going to happen in the other way, is it? A world class boxer is not going to come in and perform well in MMA. Obviously, the McGregor thing was the biggest by a country mile, the biggest crossover. But you know, I mean, in terms of an MMA fighter leaving MMA altogether, going to boxing, and then stringing it all together, taking out contenders and getting world championship belts. I don't think it's going to happen.
It's just changed too much about the game.
Yeah, and it's not going to happen on the other way back. Although it's far easier, from my experience. If you take a grappling based art like wrestlers stuff, it's far easier to teach them to punch than it is a boxer to sprawl or jiu-jitsu or whatever. I've always found that transgression is a lot easier. You can teach judokas and jiu-jitsu guys and wrestlers striking far easier than you can treat out and out strikers a grappling art. That's just my.
Yeah, no, you're right. You are right, especially because the striking arts get affected as soon as you start threatening with takedowns, and it changes everything. You know what I mean? That's why I've been talking about, like, obviously with the Khabib fight coming up, just Engage comes from wrestling and has added boxing to his wrestling to strengthen his game, and now realised it's much better to utilise his energy in boxing than it is wrestling, because he can get fights won much quicker than that. Whereas the other guys that Khabib's faced that are strikers like McGregor and Poirier, they're strikers that have added grappling to their game. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of like Connor started out as a boxer, didn't he? I went to his boxing gym actually. That's a nice little spot.
Crumlin.
Yeah, nice little gym that. Really fascinating coach. Yeah. So you're staying here for the 254 as well then? You both out here for that?
Yeah, we're on the
end,
long run, mate.
Yeah, for the
duration.
Yeah.
We're flying back together.
Yeah.
I'm driving him home.
Well,
He's parked his van outside my house.
Yeah,
so he's coming home.
Yeah.
He's up the road with me.
Tell Sam to put me a nice piece of cake in for when I get home.
Yeah, chicken fillet cake.
Yeah.
What a shit
Chicken
joke
food
that
cake.
was. Backfired. Yeah, we'll stop.
Hey, what you time when I send you a plate, mate?
What's your favourite cake then, Bob?
Lemon
I think
drizzle.
Sam's lemon. Yeah.
Or
Is that
Victoria
right? Yeah.
sponge.
Yeah.
I like a lemon cake. I might have to try it. Is it good? Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Icing as well. Lemon icing.
Mate, it's just amazing.
Oh,
Yeah, the drizzle.
Amazing.
It's the full works, mate.
the drizzle.
And the roast. Yeah, the drizzle. Not the ball in the bag.
Yeah. Every
That's
Sunday.
3 times you pick me up. That's okay, mate. We're training tomorrow, by the way.
Yeah. So if you don't see him on commentary on Saturday,
Every
my
Sunday,
face is a mess.
Every Sunday, my phone pings.
Donkey Kong me now. So.
Every
Instead of-
Sunday, my phone will ping.
Instead,
There's his dinner.
instead of throwing the barrels, and Dan Hardy. Oh.
Goddard v furniture.
Yeah.
I've got a question for you. How old do I have to be before I can start calling people son?
Before you can,
Start calling people son.
whenever you want.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Can you remember the time when you started calling people son?
Forever.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All the way back?
I think so, mate.
They don't have to
You
be
know
younger
why?
than you then?
You know why, Dan?
Why is
I
that?
just can't remember names. So if I call everybody son, at least I know somebody's going to answer me.
Same thing with me.
Honestly, I'm crap with names.
She's not joking, mate.
I call the fighter's son.
Yeah.
Want your hands up, son?
Just getting, mate. I need to. I take the piss and go, right, listen, remember, your name's Robert Plant. Years ago, you fucking come out of the room the other day.
Your name
like,
is Robert Plant, isn't it?
Yeah.
and they live, and
That's
you
a
live.
conversation,
You
isn't it?
live quite close to him, don't you?
Yeah, and I live, not far from him as well. Yeah.
Never tried to pass yourself off as a Led Zeppelin?
No, me music.
I think you could get away with it, you know.
You
You
think
don't,
so?
not musical, are you not? No. You playing?
I'll listen to it.
You listen. What do you listen
That's
to?
about it. Anything done.
Yeah.
Yeah, any
we'll
tunes.
talk about music, Dan.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, this is Smooth FM, remember?
Yeah, that's what I've put onto my phone.
Yeah.
Smooth
And he
FM.
gets trapped in the bedroom.
Yeah.
Where he's trapped in quarantine, remember?
Yeah, I was quarantined for you. Rough.
Yeah.
It's hard work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is hard work.
Yeah. I heard your TV was broken as well. Was he being a dickhead? Was he?
No, everything was just going wrong that time for me. And what else happened there? The telly was broke.
They wouldn't bring you coffee. He'd run out of coffee. He's thinking all
What else
these
was there?
things.
Was the fridge broke or something as well?
Oh no.
Yeah. One of them we
He
got.
paid like 20 quid. He paid 20 quid for a
broke.
fucking baked potato.
Yeah.
Something weird.
Here's what it is, mate.
It is.
Here's what it is.
Yeah.
If my telly's broke, it ain't a bad thing, is it? Bad seats.
All good? That was a good conversation. We'll have to do this again sometime.
Huh?
Frank Mir.
Frank Mir?
He wants me to tell the Frank Mir story.
What's this Frank Mir story?
Oh, yeah, you got to have heard that. Oh, I knew this one had come
This is
out.
amazing.
Now you might see me knocking clean out.
Is that right? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is my favourite ever Bob story.
I've got some good Frank Mir stories. I used to try.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Frank's a cool guy, man. And we were in Australia, and it was when Frank fought Mark Hunt. And obviously Mark had one of his signature walk-offs.
Yeah.
The walk-off KO, and Frank was west, all over the place. So I step in and stop the fight. And we're back at the hotel afterwards, and we're having a drink in the bar and stuff. And Frank was there. He was talking to some blah blah blah, and we kind of passed each other. So I was like, "Hey, how you doing? But you okay?" He's like, "Yeah, you know, cool. You know, thanks, blah blah blah. Thanks for stopping." I went, "Hey, give the credit to Mark. You know, he could have followed up or whatever." I said, "You know." I said, it's okay. As I'm talking to Frank, I see him out the corner of my eye. He's approaching with his drink. So he's approaching, and Frank was like, I said, I thought the conversation was going to end. Frank was talking to me just detailing. He said, well, he goes, what I wanted to do was like, I just wanted to try and drag up. He said, I didn't want to try and take him down in the first round. He's a big guy, he's heavy, He goes, I wanted to try, and as he's talking to me about the strategy, and Bob disappears and then pops up right in between me and him. And as I'm talking, and he's like that, with his drink, looking at Frank Mir, as Frank Mir's talking to me. And Frank probably won't even remember this. And Frank's talking, he's like looking at him, and I'm looking there just thinking, fucking Bob, please just carry on walking and move away. So Frank's talking to me. He ain't moving. He's just there looking like this at the side. And Frank says, yeah, so blah, 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 blah. He goes, strategy-wise, he goes, if, I wanted to try and tire him out a little bit, make him work. He said, then I was going to go for broke in a second, take him down. And there was a pause in the conversation. And just as he said that, Bob's leaning over and he's going, well, you got to get him there first. Hey, your son. And then he's just drinking his drink and he's walked off, and I stood there, and Frank's looked at me and he's going, and I said, it's not nothing like that. Well, you got to get in there first, your son. That was the laugh afterwards.
Brilliant.
And he's just looked at me as if to go, did that just happen? I've gone, it's not. I had visions of Bob fucking flying through the air.
Frank was a lovely bloke. I used to train him in his gym.
Yeah, quality.
Yeah. He set up his
I
own
have
place.
met him a few times since, and I think he must have forgot, so pretty safe.
Oh, you're all right.
Yeah. Because I think he would have just crushed me like that, wouldn't
Yeah. You want to see his daughter now, Bella. She's
Did she not make a debut?
She made a pro
She was
debut,
wrestling, wasn't she?
Yeah, she was wrestling and obviously working.
Pro debut?
Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah.
She won?
Yeah. As far as I know. I've not checked, to be honest. I just saw the stuff coming up on his Instagram, but She's a hell of an athlete. I mean, she was uploading a bunch of her strength and conditioning a little while ago. Unbelievable. I mean, good genetics from Frank Mir. Same size.
That's what I mean, don't it? Like, imagine this in another 10 years, how this game's
Right.
In another 10 years, it's just going to be amazing, mate.
Yeah.
I mean, it is now, but it's just all the while, it's non-stop.
Yeah. Are you going to keep going? You just
Oh,
gonna
mate.
keep Yeah.
Till he forgets his fucking
Until I
name.
forget. He keeps saying I'm the new Leon Tabs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mate, I tell you.
I'll be there,
He
mate,
is.
just plugging away.
Because he's the oldest. He is. You remember Leon?
Yeah, I do.
Legendary cutman.
Yeah,
He was the
mate,
oldest.
amazing guy.
He was the oldest, longest serving guy in the game.
Yeah.
And now, obviously, did Leon pass away?
Yeah, did, yeah,
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
You know,
Great,
Leon's
great.
been there forever.
Yeah.
And obviously, you know, Bob has, I think now, obviously, I know that Stitch parted company with the UFC. I don't know how long Stitch did with the UFC, but now Bob's like, he's the elder.
veteran.
Yeah, he's the elder statesman, isn't he?
Yeah.
He's the new Leon.
Yeah, and I was blessed to work with Leon Tabs, mate. It was a pleasure.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, mate, he was just class act. Gentleman. Good at just, I've never seen him get angry, never raised his voice, just got on with his job. He was real good. Yeah,
and
great
imagine the
spoke,
stories.
great statesman.
Imagine the stories that he would have pulled out from his days
Yeah.
in boxing
Oh,
and how far back he went.
and that's a shame. That's gone with him.
Yeah.
Because
it's a
he
shame.
would have had some just amazing stories.
Don
Yeah.
Don's a very long-serving
Yeah,
command.
yeah, good boxing
Who did you
coach.
say?
Yeah.
Monroe, Rudy.
Rudy, yeah. There's got the.
I remember Leon Tabs coming into the octagon after one of my fights and wiping my hair because he thought my head was covered in blood and it was red hair dye.
Oh,
And
yeah.
he's like,
I remember
"Why-"
you having
he's
yours,
like,
yeah.
"Wiping
You
my
would
hair?"
remember
He's
me
like,
then, would you, Dan? I remember you with your gum shield and your red
mate.
Mohican,
I don't
mate.
remember much from those days, to be honest. It's all kind of. It seems like a long time ago now. I don't know why.
Well, you funny enough, yours was one of the first names really I ever come across.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Wait,
And I came across it really because of the area. Like I thought, that's close to us. And Paul Taylor.
what a fight,
Yeah.
Paul Taylor.
Oh,
Paul
yeah.
Kelly.
He was from
My training partner, yeah, we trained
yeah.
together
Yeah, another great lad, eh?
years. Absolute.
Some great characters
Animal.
done over the years.
Yeah, amazing. Do you remember when you first heard of martial arts, just generally, karate, judo, anything like that?
Dan, when I did that show, yeah, I don't even know what it was.
Really?
Honestly, I swear, because
No
boxing
movies
boxing
or
was my
anything? No
life
Bruce
now.
Lee or- no, Chuck Norris?
I don't even know what it was. This is you only want to go to rap hands.
We've got a video to shoot this week, haven't we, son? It's
What?
going to break the internet.
Oh,
Just wait. We've been trying to get this together for ages.
Yeah.
We're trying to get this together for ages. But trust me, Bob's going to
I
bust
know,
it.
yeah, no one's ever got me into this, have they?
No.
So, fair play to
Well,
you.
this is it now. You're
Fair
a
play.
superstar now.
Bob's
No,
going to
I'm
bust
done.
the.
I'm
Bob's
done
going to
now.
bust the internet.
That's my one and only, yeah.
No.
I'm retired.
No, we'll have you back on at some point.
I'm going to get him a Twitter
Retired,
page.
Oh, yeah.
No, you ain't.
Next to no context, got
Nah, no chance.
Yeah, no.
Get Reeves, I'm going to kill you after who's bringing the Frank Mir story up.
Frank Mir will laugh at
Yeah.
that. He always used to show up at the gym because he had this gym in Vegas and he'd set it up himself so his family could come and his kids could play in the gym while he was training. And
What was
stuff.
his gym called?
Supper?
Suffer.
Yeah.
That's a bit.
Suffer. Yeah. It was right near one of the.
I know how to spell suffer, Dan.
Well, I'm sorry.
But thanks.
Yeah, he'd set this place up so like his kids could be there, and like his neighbours used to come and watch him sparring. Like they used to come in the gym and hang out in the gym and watch him training and stuff. But the days, like the morning sessions, we used to get together and do pads, and he had like a matted area and a cage and a ring, and and then he had some toys for the kids and all kinds of stuff in there. It was a cool,
Creche, like.
pretty much, yeah. It was a cool spot because his kids are. I mean, they've grown up with him as a
Yeah,
fighter.
you
haven't they?
did. Was Nelson there? Was that a different gym?
That was
Didn't
a
you spend
different
time with him?
Yeah, I actually cornered Roy Nelson against Frank Mir.
Oh.
And then Roy and I parted
But
ways.
it's all right, I
and-
trained at
and
your gym.
became friends with Frank after that. Yeah, and I shared a few training camps with Frank, especially for UFC 146 when I fought Ludwig. That was an all heavyweight main card, and was he fighting Cain Velasquez on that one? Sure he was. I'm sure he was fighting for the heavyweight
I
title.
can't remember.
Because he bought me the Millennium Falcon, the Lego Millennium Falcon at the end of that training camp for helping him out. It was wicked. That's what started my Star Wars Lego collection.
How'd you get on training with heavyweights?
What I always used to do is first and last rounds of sparring because I was tall enough and rangy enough to be able to challenge him from distance, but I was fast enough to make him work. So I'd do his first round, his warm-up round, then he'd do like sort of 4 or 5 rounds with a couple of 3 different
Grappling
heavyweights. Yeah, grappling, yeah, big guys, wrestlers, grapplers. And then I would have his last round when he was exhausted because he knew I wasn't going to tee off on him and try and hurt him, you know what I mean? I would make him work. And obviously he used to help me out with my grappling, my wrestling and stuff, and then I used to help him out with his conditioning. I used to take him up to Mount Charleston and we used to run up at altitude.
How long did you live in Vegas for?
3.5 years, about that. But I was driving out to Vegas to train when I was still living in Los Angeles as well, because I was training at Extreme Couture for a while. And I actually went out and I used to stay with Sean Tompkins at his house.
Didn't you train at... When did you train with Bravo?
That was when I was living in
Was that
LA.
Legends?
Yeah. Always enjoyed that. They were always interesting sessions, especially that when it was Legends in Hollywood, like the original gym. It was rammed. Like Wednesday night, we'd be in there until 10:30. All the windows steamed up. Rogan would show up at the end to have a roll. We'd have Jake Shields passing through and Gary Tonin and not Gary Tonin. Why am I forgetting his name? It'll come to me. Loads of good guys will come through because Eddie Bravo had quite a unique style and guys wanted to come in and kind of pick his brains a bit. But they were great sessions. They were.
It's kind of like at the heyday of when people started about 10th Planet and
yeah. There was like a proper culture around his gym, and the good thing is, I mean, that culture's now spread, and you've got loads of different 10th Planet gyms that have kind of got their own culture. Oh, what?
Moons.
The Moons.
That's what he calls them, Moons.
Is that right? Yeah. But no, the original 10th Planet with all the old guys on the mat they were amazing days.
Do you know what we're talking about here, son?
Yeah.
Training.
Moons.
Yeah, but like when I was training at Frank's gym, like he'd show up, because he had a motorbike, he had a nice red Camaro, 1968 Chevy Camaro. It was beautiful, this car, red with 2 white stripes down the front. But I always remember he used to show up on his Harley Davidson, and it used to take him 20 minutes to disarm himself. The amount of firearms he used to carry around with him was ridiculous. Honestly, he had a chain around his neck with a knife in a like a holster. He had a knife on one ankle, pistol on the other, gun on his back. Then he had.
What the fuck was he expecting?
Mate, I used to call him.
How long did it take you? This sounds like Tackleberry.
Mate, that is exactly what I used to call him. I used to call him Tackleberry.
Why did he do that?
Because he just used to love carrying guns. It was his thing.
Oh,
he's a bit of a mentalist, Frank is, because like you'll speak to him and he's just the nicest guy, but then he's got this edge to him that like he said this to me one time. He said, "If I make it to the end of my life without killing somebody, I'll be quite disappointed."
Sounds like someone we know. I was actually.
Could have been me, couldn't it? Then? Could have been me.
What?
That's what.
Well, that's the thing. Who's going to kill first, me or Dan Hardy? Let's take a poll on that.
It depends who's eating louder.
Yeah.
No, he always used to take a while to disarm himself when he came into the gym. Oh dear. Considering how lethal he was anyway, with like hand to hand.
If you get into an altercation, mate, he's a big guy, obviously immensely skilled.
Yeah. I worked with him through his training camp for Nigeria as well. Remember when he Kimura Nigeria and snapped his shoulder?
Don't. Oh.
It was nasty.
Horrible, mate. Because you knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
Sitting and watching, I'm like, he ain't going to tap. Bump.
Yeah. Remember the Tim Sylvia one?
I do remember that distinctly, yeah. But that was even more like freakishly because his elbow line was out. Yeah. So Frank was just...
It was just bones and he broke both of them.
Doing what you got to do. Mm. But the big nog one was just especially bad because you look and you're like, he ain't going to tap. And I was like...
Yeah,
I could just hear Rogan going, ah! I didn't see it, I just heard the commentary. I was like,
yeah. You knew it was coming because there was a point where it started to slow down. But Frank was so strong. And it went, and it was just gone. And then it's like this just slack. And Nagira just laid back and kind of put his hand over his eyes.
Yeah, as if, no. Oh, no, not again.
Yeah.
But that's, mate, the mental fortitude of,
yeah, that Tim Sylvia one was the weirdest though, because if you watch it, you can see the bones snap individually, because there's 2 snaps. It goes snap, snap, and it's both the bones on the arm, one slightly higher than the other. But then Tim Sylvia's like, why'd you stop the fight? What's wrong? What's going on?
Yeah, he was going like that,
Yeah.
didn't
He's like, I'm fine. And like, literally, he really
he? He
was.
passed out backstage, didn't he?
Did he really?
Yeah,
I'm
he's
surprised.
tried that again.
When
then
he saw it
obviously
on the camera.
the adrenaline's obviously subsided, and
Yeah.
I think they said he passed out.
Yeah.
Fuck trying to catch him.
Isn't it? Do you remember when I fought Lee Dosky the second time? Was that, you didn't referee that? That was in Sheffield, Fight Club UK
No.
or something.
The second time, didn't know he fought
Yeah,
him twice.
I lost my pro debut to Lee Dosky because I came out to Pantera. I was wired. I was got in there, threw everything at him, and just didn't. I couldn't put him away. He was a good boxer. Lee Dosky was a good southpaw, real awkward. Bit
Yeah,
of
Lee's a
wily
good guy,
veteran.
man. He's a good guy.
Yeah, he is. I threw everything at him. Whole of the first round and then most of the second
What
round.
decision?
No, I was fucking angry. So it was coming to like the last sort of minute of the second round, and I'm starting to feel my lungs burning a bit now. And I've thrown everything at him, and he's still there. And I was just first pro fight, no amateur fights because there wasn't the option back in those days. And I thought, right, I'll shoot him, take him down, and I'll control him on the floor, bit of ground and pound. Shot him and double legged him, and it wasn't canvas. It was like that plastic surface.
Vinyl.
Yeah, and it was just so slippery. And I shot him, took him down, and he hip bumped over from mount. And as I landed, I bridged to bump him back over and just spun underneath him. He just created enough space.
Got
I
your
just
back.
spun underneath him, took my back. 4 minutes 59 seconds the second round, rear naked choke.
Oh,
Burns me. So I got the rematch because I fought Paul Jenkins after that, which was funny because I'm walking out. I'm 0-1 and he's 24-19-3 or something like that was his record. Main event in Portsmouth on the pier. The ceiling was like there. You couldn't pick him up to take him down because the ceiling was too low. Anyway, so I when I got my rematch with Dosky, I think I was like 2-1 or 1-2 or 2-2 or something like that. And I got this fight lined up in Sheffield, and it was Thursday night. I was sitting at home, and it was late night, and I was cutting weight, and I was like feeling real rough. All of a sudden, the phone rings. My granddad's been taken to hospital, so we get in the car, we shoot over to the hospital, and I spend all Thursday night in the hospital. Wake up Friday, like in the hospital. Friday morning, leave the hospital, go up to Sheffield, cut weight, weigh in, go back to the hospital, rehydrate there, stay at the hospital all Friday night because they told us he was going to die. Like,
I think I may have done that. It's
yeah,
ringing a
I'm
bell
sure
now.
you were there.
I think I may have done that.
So all Thursday night, all Friday night. So I'd gone to Sheffield to do the weight cut and came back to the hospital, and I was in the hospital all that night. And then the Saturday, I spent most of the day at the hospital before I had to leave and go up to the venue. Got to the venue, I'm fighting this guy that gave me my first pro defeat. I've been up for 2 nights straight, and I was just so angry. I had just all this emotion running through me. And actually, I don't know whether I've still got the video, but as he was walking out, I was standing at the cage door. I wouldn't let him in. Like I was like ready to go. I wouldn't even let him in the cage. Like the referee had to come and move me away so he could get in the cage.
That wasn't me.
No, I don't think it was.
No, it wasn't me. But just maybe I'm picking it up from your book.
Yeah,
the
maybe.
story of your granddad.
And yeah, and we had a good bit of a back and forth, and I managed to kind of calm myself down a little bit. But everything I threw at him was full power, and I ended up throwing this body kick. And I'm left-footed, and he's a southpaw, so like I switched my stance, kicked his back arm, and broke it, and he didn't realise it was broken until he threw a jab, and then he was like, oh no, that feels odd.
Stinging.
Backed up, holding his wrist, and the referee jumps in and stops the fight to get the doctor in. And I'm furious here because I'm thinking he's chickening out, and I want to keep going in the fight.
The fight's over at
Yeah,
that point.
and I looked over and I could see his forearm was just sagging where the bottom bone had broken. Yeah, bad. Yeah, I watched the fight the other day, Marcin Tabora against Ante Delea, the guy that's been taken off the card this weekend, and he threw a kick, broke his leg, got taken down. Well, he landed on the floor. Tabora ran in and got mount, and the referee stopped it, and Tabora wouldn't give up mount. He sat there, and Delaya was like, dude, my leg's broken. And he got up then. It was bad. I asked him about it in the fighter interviews. He had a big scar right across it where he's had it
Was
fixed.
it what, tib and fib?
Yeah, no, just the tibia, I think. It was just one of the bones.
Oh, God. Not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, fun times.
Crazy, eh?
Right. Thanks for joining us, Bob.
It's a pleasure for you to speak to me, Dan.
It's been a pleasure to have you on here, mate. Civil conversation. Hey?
Was it? Was it?
It was.
pretty
It was.
civil?
We don't normally get civil conversation. It normally goes off on all different kinds of tangents and we swear at people. And this was very reasonable for today. Hope you've enjoyed it. And we'll see you next time.
Keep safe.
There we go. Love it.